What's happening? Infinite Being School, you, Infinite Being, what's happening? This is my new hype beginning. What do you think of my sleeves? Seriously? Seriously? These sleeves? Y'all, we are going to talk today about what is controlling and keeping you from being money. Because of course, I'm going to invite you to having more of this change in a 30 by 90, which you can go check out at this information right here. But also, I want you to have this information. In the last probably 2 or 3 months in real time in Access Consciousness land, we've gotten to this new stuff that's very wordy. It's called presumptive and need of reactive realities. And what I've started to see, what I've seen is that this stuff is everywhere. And it's literally the stuff that's controlling us and keeping us from being what we want to be and choosing what we want to choose and having what we want to have. And when it comes to money, the thing that allows money to show up is being it. What the fuck is being money? By the way, we're going to start a new class on that in like 2 weeks. It's the study of the How to Become Money workbook. But the reason why I keep putting these 30 by 30s out there, and a 30 by 30, if you guys are brand new to this, is one clearing that you 60 days, 90 days, 365 days. But what I love about these is that they're probably my secret weapon, in that there was a 3-year period of time where I did one of these every single day, like 5 or 6 years ago. And my life was just like skyrocketing while those of my peers were kind of staying the same. And the only thing I was really doing and being different was I was doing this 30 by 30. So that's the purpose of this. But I kind of want to go into quickly in this conversation, like the 10 things that control you and keep you from being money. Are you ready? And then what I want to talk about in conjunction with these things, I don't want to just like spew stuff at you, is I want to start to show you, I need a fan, that underneath all these things that are so common that we struggle with money is a presumption and a need of a reaction, okay? Here's one of the things that control you and keep you from being money. Fear. Fear will control, can anybody relate to fear? Fear will control you and keep you from being anything you want to be. I actually just did a private session 2 days ago. I've been doing a lot of private sessions, by the way. Oh, and you get a private session if you sign up for this thing here. So a couple days ago with this creator, and the very first thing, she hasn't done a whole lot of access consciousness, but the very first thing she said when she came into the session was, she's like, when I go to do a video or when I go to show up, I'm like, I have all this fear come up. Now, there's a lot of information I can give you about fear. The primary thing being that fear is always what's called a distractor implant. All that means is that it's there to distract you. And fear 100% of the time covers up potency. But guess, if you don't feel like you have a choice with fear, then it's going to control you and keep you. And fear is what's called the need of a reactive reality. Fear is a reactive reality. And what holds a reactive reality in place is the need for one. So how the fuck do you change any of that? Okay, so that's a great question. One of the ways we're going to change this is this 30 by 30 that's coming up. But the way you change fear is you call it what it is. You can't change anything from calling it what it's not. So you have to identify and call it what it is. It's a distractor implant and a reactive reality. And then you've got to recognize that you're doing the need for it. So like if you wake up in the morning and your first thoughts about money are fear, like fear and stress, these kind of all, I mean, my first 3 on my list of 10 is fear, worry, and stress. If those are your first feelings, is that your need of a reactive reality to money? Now, you don't have to get this advanced with it in order to have change, but I want to show you in this conversation that these presumptions, that things we can't change that are just facts, and this need that we have to react to things is actually what's controlling and keeping us from being what we need to be. So like if you wake up in the morning and you've got like fear, worry, and stress about money, and the very first thing that you do is you pock and pod that, and you go, okay, all that energy, Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. All the presumptive realities and the need of reactive realities. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. You work with the energy instead of trying to go into your head and figure out how you're going to make money. And you do it again, and you work with the energy, and you do it again, and you work with the energy. You are going to have a very different day because you're no longer going to be controlled and kept from being active, which is actually what creates a different financial reality. Pardon my fan activity here. So that's first three things that'll control you and keep you from being money: fear, stress, and worry. You literally can do nothing. You render yourself non-functional when you live in those energies. And this is somebody speaking that has lived in those energies for a really long time and then discovered how to change them faster. And now we have the tools to change them even faster. So those are the first three things that'll control you and keep you, and how you work with them. The fourth thing that'll control you and keep you from being money is the belief that you're powerless. I'm going to do actually 4 and 5. The belief that you're powerless and the belief that you can't change this. Now, how many of you guys have ever gotten yourself into such a mess, created yourself into such a mess that you felt powerless and believed you couldn't change it? Hashtag me too. Me too. I've done it. And even it just kind of morphs and shifts all the time. For the most part, I walk through my life now, after 10 years, feeling pretty powerful, but there's still those times where I feel powerless and like I can't change it. That will control you and keep you from being money or anything. So what do you do? So what do you do with this stuff, right? So the first thing you do is you recognize that you feel powerless and like you can't change it. Now, when you have that sensation of I can't change this, that's what's called a presumptive reality. A presumptive reality is something you think is a fact that you can't change. The only reason I tell you that is because if you call it what it isn't, so let's say you feel like you can't change something, your financial situation, money coming in, you can't change that people aren't paying you, whatever it is, right? If you live there, which I've done, if you live there, and you don't handle it for what it is, which is a presumptive reality. So you can, and you don't have to believe me on any of this, you can just ask. I can't change this, I can't change this, I don't know how I'm gonna change this, I don't know how I'm gonna change this, is usually where we get ourselves. The first question you can ask yourself is is that true? And the second question you can ask yourself, is that true or is that a presumptive reality? Now what's true in, the thing that's true is always gonna pop out. It's always going to be more obvious. You're going to hear it in a different way. It's always going to pop out. It's a presumptive reality. What's the only thing you can do with a presumptive reality? All the presumptive realities, right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. And if you guys are new to the clearing statement, go to clearingwithcrystal.com to watch a video, or theclearingstatement.com to get more education on it. It's amazing. So those two beliefs, the belief that you're powerless and the belief that you can't, are going to control you and keep you from being money. Now, this thing about being money is something we're going to do a class on, because that's truly what allows money to show up, is when you're being it. But why is that? Why when you're being money does money show up? Because you are it, you have it, you're choosing from it, you're acting from it. When you're being fear or being worry or being stress, can money show up to that party? No, because you're really functioning from, I don't know how this is going to work, and I can't do this, and this is crushing in on me. And so you're contracting and crushing yourself under those energies, which to me is why, if you want something different, it's so vital to handle these energies. And to me, there's two camps of handling something, okay? There's the in the moment work that needs to be done, so where you catch yourself and you're pock and potting yourself, and the daily choice work, which is, for me, the 30 by 30. That's the one clearing 30 times a day out loud, right? These two things, mixed with kind of a third tenet of going to as many access classes as you can get yourself to, just my opinion, are what's going to contribute enough of a different possibility for you to have more choice. For most of us, I know for me, and I see this for most people, by the time we get to access consciousness, or by the time we're looking at these tools, we have tried it all, done done everything that we know how to do to get our life to work. I was, I felt like I came to access consciousness kind of like on my hands and knees. This is just me. This might not be you, but on my hands and knees going, all I want is to be happy and to be able to have good relationships. I didn't even know you could ask for more money. I didn't know you could have the life of your dreams. I didn't know that you could consciously create living, you know. So I came to access consciousness like at the end of my rope. Like I've tried everything else, I've done everything else. And honestly, I had a presumptive reality about money, which is why I didn't even ask for more, that I was at the top of my game with money. So there's nowhere else for me to go with money, was my presumptive reality. Well, because I didn't know it was a presumptive reality, and I didn't have tools to handle it because I didn't know, you know, then I was just living from it as if it was real. So when that controls you and keeps you. Presumptive realities are so unconscious and so much a part of the fabric of your life that they control you and keep you at that ceiling. You don't even fucking know they're there. Which is why I think the 30 by 30s are like such a gift, because one clearing repeatedly over a period of time starts to uncover all this unconsciousness that you don't even know you're doing. So yeah, crawling to access going, God, if I could just figure out how to be happy and like have good relationships, I will spend the rest of my life pleased. Well, guess what, Crystal? You can also have more money. You can also live the way that you want. You can just create your, you know. So my presumptive reality was that I'm at the top of my game. I have to change the game for me to make more money. Now, part of that was true and an awareness. I have to tell you, some of these things that you're aware of are kind of a mix. But a lot of it was the presumption that it doesn't get better than this. This is what it is. All the presumptive realities, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pok, online, shorts, boys, povits, ambience. If you guys are watching live, say hi. Hi. Okay, so 10 things that'll control you and keep you from being money. Let's keep going. Overwhelm and blame. Does anybody ever do overwhelm with all the different things that they think they know they have to handle? And does anybody ever like hate the other people in your life? I know for me, blame showed up in like, it was really, really unconscious. I wasn't doing super overt blame, but I was really, really pissed at my parents and my family who hadn't taught me anything about money. I was pissed. In my world, energetically, it was my mother's fault. And again, this is the thing about these. Now, is that true or is that a presumptive reality? Everything that is times a godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pok, all nine shorts, boys, povits, ambience. So again, I'm mixing two things in this video. I'm mixing an invitation to doing a 30 by 30 with the spot work required in your daily life, because they really are both required. 30 by 30 is going to shave off all the unconsciousness you're doing that you don't even know you're doing, and as you do it daily, you're going to have more clarity and more awareness in ways you didn't even know you could have, because how would you even know to ask for that if it's all unconscious? With the spot work, the daily work, and catching yourself, this is the part that's required from you to get access to your ability for action. Because again, if we look at overwhelm, when you go into being overwhelmed, do you continue being active or do you stop being active? I know for me, and I don't choose this very much anymore. Oh, by the way, it's a choice. I stop. When I go into overwhelm, I stop. I need a nap. I have to sleep. I usually need my bars run. You know, like I get a headache. I literally am controlled and kept by overwhelm. Now, what are some of the presumptive realities under overwhelm? I can't handle all this. I can't do all of this. This is too much for me. I'm never going to be able to figure this out. Can you guys hear yourselves in any of this? This is too much is a huge one. So the truth is up here somewhere. The truth is the light thing, right? The truth is like, would an infinite being be overwhelmed or something else? But what we're functioning from, what we've bought into and are reacting to is that presumptive reality that we can't, that this is too much. So the only way to handle a presumptive reality is what? Feel it, think about it, get therapy about it, or clear it. Clear it, clear it, and clear it, and clear it. And for so many of these things on this list that I'm giving you, these are all things you can choose beyond. Like, you can go into panic and actually choose something else immediately. The thing is, can you choose something else immediately? And this is the thing I think is such a gift about the Access Consciousness tools is choice is the fastest tool you're ever going to find on the whole planet. You never have to clear anything. You could just choose something else in every moment. That's actually your shortcut. If you want a shortcut, there it is. You've got the Cliff Notes. But if you feel like you can't choose something else, that is, you are stuck in something that is controlling and keeping you from the choices you actually have. Now, it's not happening to you. It is something you're choosing, but you're stuck in your choice for it. So again, I think I referred at the beginning of this episode to a session that I had with somebody she's a creator, she's a healer, she's a coach. And she's bought this package of sessions with me so she can start to look at but every time I get on video, I open that video camera and I go blank and I panic and I lose all my words. So there's a lot going on there, right? She's controlled and kept by this fear that she cannot find another choice beyond. And that is what the clearings are for. That's what the clearings are for. So that's why I say there's two pillars of working with yourself. One is the daily stuff, the 30 by 30 you do just to continually shave off unconsciousness so you get access to more choice. And the second is working with yourself in the moment. So I've got her now doing some clearings, doing a 30 by 30. And now every time she gets on camera, she has this exercise to work with herself to learn something new. Both are required. 8 and 9 on my list of things that will control you and keep you from being money is avoiding money and defending your choices about money. Anything you're avoiding and defending, you're controlled and kept by. So have you guys noticed that avoiding anything about money or avoiding handling where you function from with money and defending your position keeps your same fruit in place? So what can you do with what you're avoiding and defending? What are some of the presumptive realities that are in your choice for avoiding? So if you're avoiding money, what are some of your presumptive realities? Very similar to overwhelm, I think. Oh, I can't handle this. I'm not going to look at this. I can't do this. Ugh, if I look at this, it's going to kill me. Oof, this is too much. It's pretty similar to overwhelm. I would say overwhelm is probably avoidance. Defending so we have to defend our position always. If we take a position, we have to defend it. So we have to make ourselves right. So what are you making yourselves right about? Are you making yourselves right that poverty is true and real? Are you making yourselves right that survival is the only way? I was making myself right about, I've reached my ceiling. I literally can't go, I remember even really talking about that. I can't go any further in this. This is it, I've maxed out. And in my mind, before I found Access, I was starting to create the scenarios when I'm 60 and 70 years old. I'm like, there's older waitresses at pancake houses, so I can always go do that. I was already extrapolating out to when I'm older because I've hit my ceiling and this is what I know how to do. And that's that. That's that. It's a fact. And I can't change it. Presumptive reality. Everything that is times a godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, punk, all night, shorts, boys, popes, and beyond. So avoidance and defense, that's huge. So if you're avoiding money, there's nothing to fix. The solution is to choose to face everything. Now, what do you do when you feel like you can't face it? Because that occurs. Same here. There's things I get to and I'm like, oh, I can't look at this. I've been changing something recently that I think today it just started to open up in my world. It just felt so huge. But if I just stay persistent with the 30 by 30s and just staying present with myself and kind to myself, then, it does unravel and you can face it. It does change, right? That's the nature of things. So, and then the final thing that I think will control you and keep you from being money is, I didn't write this one down. What is this? Confusion. Now, there's probably more than 10, honestly. But when I was looking at this list, I was like, what are some of the dominant things we just kind of return to over and over? And if you're confused about what to do, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to handle this, I don't know what I'm doing, I feel confused, I have so much information in my world that I don't know which one is right and which one's wrong and which direction to go, there's so many people talking at me, that I think that also falls in the avoidance camp, but that will control you and keep you from going, no. I do know, I am going to choose, I'm going to find my way with this, I'm going to give myself the space, and I'm going to start here, and then I'm going to get more information, and then I'm going to keep choosing, and I'm going to keep choosing, and I'm never going to give up, and I'm never going to quit, and I'm not living this stupid anymore. Okay? But if you're living confused and you feel like you can't change it, what are some of the presumptions going on? I'm not smart enough to handle money. I don't know enough about money. I can't do this. I've never been able to do this. I'm never going to be able to do this. I mean, there's a lot, right? So I wanted to just expose all of this in one big kind of ranty conversation, and just to show you, I want you to know that you're not alone in what you're looking to change. And there are things going on unconsciously in your world that can change if you're willing. And there's multiple ways to work with them. And one of my favorite ways is this 30 by 30. So we're actually going to do a 30 by 90, and we might change. We might do 3. But we're going to go after these presumptive and need of reactive realities with money, around being money, having money, creating money, all the things money, so that you have access to more of you and more choice. So you can go to my website, crystaljoycrawford.com, and go to the new button on the top, and you'll find your choices there. How does it get better than this? How does it get better than we can be anything we want to be, including free? Share this if you loved it, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.